I'd like to take a moment to thank my channel members for your continued support. Thank you, and consider joining today for added perks and exclusive content. Hello and welcome, I'm Bert the Stormtrooper, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins Lord of Power version of Beast Man Savage Henchman. Released in the fall of 2021, this is brand new and starting to hit store shelves and online retailers right now as of the time of this recording. It retails for approximately $15, and of course, I'll be putting a link down in the description below where you can get your own Beast Man. So some of you may be wondering, what's the deal, right? We already got a, let's call it a cartoon accurate Beast Man earlier in the line. What is the deal with this? What is LOP, Lords of Power? So this is in reference to the name that they originally intended for the line. The line was originally going to be called Lords of Power. At least that was one of the names that they were throwing around. Eventually became Masters of the Universe. But Lords of Power was one of the names that they were considering. Now, Beastman, as we see here, looks more closely resembles the way he was depicted in the original mini comic. So that's what we're looking at here, and it's a very good representation of the way he looked in those original mini comics. So this is very cool for those of us that liked it, grew up reading those original mini comics back in the day. We're actually getting figures that are referencing the way they looked in the artwork for those, which is really, really cool. So we can see Beastman right here, new for 21, packaged in that retro style packaging, which is very reminiscent of the original packaging that we got back in the 80s. We've got that bubble card right there. We got that Lords of Power logo right there. We can see Beastman in the bubble. We got a little baggie with some more stuff back there, and of course we got that comic book included right back there. Going around the back here, we've got some really cool artwork. Beastman's primal rage is a feral force that only Eternia's mightiest can hope to contain, and you can see the artwork right there. He-Man battling with Beastman right there. Very, very good looking, modernizing and celebrating the original 80s Masters of the Universe action figures, twist into powerful battle positions. We've got those cross cells right there, He-Man, Skeletor, and the rest of the wave, Eternian Goddess, WEBSTOR, STINKOR, and of course Beastman, because we always have to, try to sell us the figure that we're already buying. So that is about it for the packaging. Let's get it opened up and check it out. And here we have Beastman out of the package and shown with everything he comes included. So of course we've got the little sheet right here. This is new. Again, they've been adding these in the later waves just to show us the different pieces that we can remove from the figures, and we can just mix and match, swap parts, swap armor, and make our own custom figures, which I will continue to say I think is a very, very cool feature of this new line. We've got them included mini comic, which is rocking a hard place. It's the same mini comic that we got with the rest of the wave. Very, very cool comic right there. And then we've also got his armor. So no weapons for him really. The thing with, or the deal rather, with this Beastman is that he was intended to be originally depicted in the mini comics. The way he was depicted in the original comics is that he was more of an kind of an ape man, if you will. So he really didn't use weapons. He was more of just a wild beast man, in more of a hand-to-hand combat, maul you kind of a thing. So he was depicted to be more like an ape, which they've actually done a really good job of molding him to look like a cross between man and ape. Check that out. You can really see the details right there on the head. You can see kind of like those humanoid, very human-like features right there, especially on the skull. You can actually see like that balding area right there, and then you've got the hair coming down on the sides and the back there, going into a beard right there. I like his pointy ears right there, and then of course the rest of his body's pretty much going to be covered in hair. Very cool. You got the little rubber belt right there. You can remove that, and yeah, there you go. It's just, again, it's reminiscent of the belt that he wore in the mini comics. He's got his little gold gauntlets right there with those claws. So these were meant to be like almost like, for lack of a better term to compare him with, it's kind of like Wolverine claws almost that he had coming out of these gauntlets right here. He is about 6 inches tall, so again, he stands right alongside the rest of the line very well. Articulation-wise, his head is out ball joint, up and down, inquisitive, and side to side. You got the universal pins for the shoulders, so you got in and out, forward, backwards, all the way around. On the elbows, bend and rotate all the way around. And on the wrists, bend and rotate all the way around. You got a rotation at the waist. The legs can go forward about that far, back that far, in and out, rotate, bend at the knee, rotation at the knee, rotation midway on the calf right there. So typically this would be like the boot. The top of the boot usually rotates on these guys, so he doesn't really have a boot. So that would be more of a halfway down the calf there. And then, of course, his ankles can go up and down, and they can also rotate. Really weird to note, and I'm going to have to look at my mini comic book collection to see how this was drawn, but very interesting to note here that Beast Man appears to be fully naked, as he should. He's a wild beast. He's Beast Man, right? So he appears to be fully naked, but then his feet look like shoes, and you don't really see a defining point anywhere where he would actually be wearing those shoes. So I need to look at my comic books and see how he was depicted, if he was depicted barefoot or if they just rounded off the feet like that. That's very interesting indeed. All right, let's put his armor on him because he just doesn't look complete without it. And this thing is just so cool. It's rubber, of course. Lots of big spikes on this guy. Very, very cool. So we'll just go ahead and put that right on him. And I'm kind of figuring this out as I go here. So bear with me as I try to figure out how this armor is going to go. Let's see. Okay, so that's... Wow, so the way that this is packaged really kind of makes it... it really kind of bent it all over the place. Kind of weird. He does seem to have the same kind of H straps. Very similar to the vintage armor. If you think about like He-Man and Skeletor, their armor didn't really come into a point or a cross on the back of the figure. It was more like an H. This armor is very similar to that. This piece is very soft, and I'm having trouble getting it through. All right, there you go. I think that is about straight right there. Yeah, he looks really good. I kind of wish he had some sort of a weapon, though. Like, I know he wasn't really meant to have weapons, but it would be cool if he had something. And I'm sure I can dig through my little baggie of parts and find something to give him. But there you go. There's Beast Man right there with his armor going all the way around. He looks fantastic, and this is really cool. And I like these variants, especially because it's not just a repaint. Yes, it's the same character, but it doesn't have to be, right? This is your toy on your shelf, on your display. You can make this anything you want. So for me, on my display, he's not gonna be Beast Man. He's just gonna be something else, like maybe like a drone or a minion of Beast Man or something like that. Of course, Beast Man is still going to be Beast Man, as the comic book version is still going to be my Beast Man, and he's just going to be kind of like a minion or something like that. So two very different figures can be made to be two completely different characters, however you want to play with them, but it is still cool to have that original mini comic book representation of the original figure. A couple of more comparisons just so we can see him with the rest of his wave. Here he is with his wave mate WEBSTOR, so you can see how these guys stack together. And we'll set him off to the side. We'll bring in the Eternian goddess. And of course, again, she really was just a simple repaint, but you take the armor off of the regular Tila, and then you got yourself a cartoon-looking Tila and a mini comic book goddess is the way I did it. So very cool to have both of these characters in my collection now. And then finally, here he is with STINKOR, who doesn't really stink, but whatever, that's his name. And you can see him right there with STINKOR. Very, very cool. I am so happy that I finally got my hands on one of these Lord of Power Beast Man figures, because I've really been looking forward to getting one of these. Such a cool figure. Mattel, just please don't stop. Keep giving us these throwbacks to the original mini comics, these obscure figures like this. This is absolutely fantastic. And I think that about does it for the Masters of the Universe Origin Lords of Power Beast Man. What did you think of this figure? Let me know down in the comments. Give me some thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you're notified when I upload a new video. I've got a donate button up there if you want to hit on that. I certainly would appreciate it. Please share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time.